Hi guys, so today we are doing a build your own palette type of video. I have been so inspired by Wuthering Heights, the book, the song, not so much the movie. I have also been wanting to buy tons of new palettes recently, so I decided to take it upon myself to build a palette that inspires me more than all these palettes coming out. Let's just get into it. Let me show you what we're working with. So this is the palette. I have to clean it out, but then I have these two Danessa Myricks palettes that do pop out. I think at this age and stage, I just love palettes that have removable components. Most of my eyeshadow collection is removable. I have these beautiful singles. ColourPop. These are from my Purgatory bin if you followed my declutter. So this palette, this ColourPop, and Sydney Grace. I have even more singles in here. Not a lot of rhyme or reason to the singles there. And I have a few more traditional singles. So these are my Cleona, obviously took a tumble. And just three little ones there. And then the big Natasha Denona stack. More Natasha Denona, Sydney Grace, and then I even have these palettes which currently have little color stories I've made. So before we get into anything, I think I'm going to put everything back in their respective homes from these palettes. I also want to fix my gold and lila because they are completely mixed up. Let's start with the gold and the lila. Here is the lila palette all reconstructed. Here's the gold reconstructed. So I love the book cover imagery, the different book covers. The one I have is hidden under these palettes, but kind of has a similar vibe of like the tans, the dark storminess. Kind of has like a little bit of an olivey green in person. I don't think it transfers, but it definitely transfers in the image here. Here are the moors, which are referenced loads in the book, and so obviously this is very sunny, but just the green, the tans again. And then the purples, I feel like the purples are an essential part here. In the modern day marketing for the new movie, I actually hate all of the looks pretty much, but the Wuthering Heights song, the Queen Kate Bush is in this red outfit, and I kind of want to highlight that red as well. I'm going to keep this one up as well as my book in the corner here, so I kind of have that in mind. As a reminder, this is the size palette we're going for. Let me give this a quick clean. Let me bring out the palettes that are contenders. Well, why don't we open them one by one and say yes or no. This one is definitely a contender to have some colors. I'm going to try the, no, I don't think so. I'm going to try to be pretty cutthroat with which ones I want to bring into contention because I don't want to be overwhelmed. I'm looking at the purples here. No, I don't think those are the right ones. I'm going to say yes for the red. Let's think if there's a different red. This one is a yes. This is not very ruthless, is it? This is too bright. No. I think also no. Maybe. Maybe the greens in that. This is gonna be a no, I can tell you right now. Xenon is definitely a yes. The warm palette, no. Love palette, ooh, maybe. Bronze, no. Retro, no. I didn't think any of these really. No, none of these are the vibe. Left in here. Maybe the green one. So the first thing I'm going to do is just a rough first pass of all of the palettes, keeping in mind the color story we discussed. And I'm going to let myself be pretty liberal with pulling colors here. Okay, I just grabbed this little knitting needle, and so now I can do these Natasha Denona palettes, I believe, yeah. Okay, this is the initial group of colors we are working with. It's so pretty and not like anything I've ever seen put together, which is pretty cool. And obviously all of these are not going to fit in here, but I'm going to group them somewhat by color category. And then I'm going to talk you through kind of how I got the idea for each color, and we'll narrow it down from those color categories. Initially, I kind of want to see what it looks like if we take out the reds. The reds do seem to be like a big element in media inspired by Wuthering Heights. Wow, that's so pretty. That just looks so much more cohesive. That is tempting. Now I'll bring them back in. I don't know, it's still kind of a cool concept. Let's think about it. I'm not ready to make that call yet. Okay, here's what we're working with. So, I kind of want to bring those over there. All right. So as we've already discussed, we have the reds over here, and then I also incorporated this color from Natasha Denona. It's more of a purple. I don't really know why I felt like including it, but I did. So I did. Here are the greens, which remind me of what the actual moors look like, and I tried to keep it kind of murky and browny green because that's more what I was envisioning. Here we have what I think of as stormy colors, so we have like the blacks and the charcoals, and then kind of the intermediary grays and charcoals, and then we have some metallics, stormy, maybe a little romantic, cousins, so romantic. And then here, these ones are very like ethereal, and I thought of like the presence of ghosts could maybe be the ethereal presence. Here again, kind of the moors and the grassland is like the brownie tones. This one actually, I mean, we could argue that these two would be in their own category of like a purple hue, but we're not going to argue that. I'm just saying we could. And then here we have like the pale base tones. Felt like that made a lot of sense to me. And then here are just kind of two one-offs of like some paler shimmers. I don't really know what inspired that call, to be honest. Okay, let's first start with the smokier colors. I'm gonna pull everything else out of frame, and we will start with the smoky colors. I kind of want to include all three of these, but that might not be the most necessary idea. Let's swatch them. So this is more of a navy. It does have kind of like a deep blue. Well, does it? Yeah, it does. It's just so deep that it's kind of hard to see it. Let's compare it to more of a black, and this is the cream to powder formula. Yeah, there you go. It looks very navy in comparison to that. And then here is a metallic black. Wow. Black eyeshadow is so pretty. Okay, for now, I want all of those in my palette. Oopsies. Next, we have kind of the grays. This color takes us in like a very blue-gray direction if we're looking at what we already have. I don't know if I love that. I kind of think I enjoy more leaning into this color. I mean, this is also like has that similar tone, but it's just less dramatic. Let's swatch these three. These are Natasha Denona. This is from Danessa Myricks. Sometimes when you swatch it, it just transfers differently. Like that transfers way more warm, I feel like. But maybe that's not, oh, I'm sorry. It'd be nice if I showed you. Okay. Yeah, see, that's so blue. But we do have kind of the navy. I feel like this is looking a little out of place. So let's go for these two for now. And then we have two of the more taupey, silvery, romantic type tones. Definitely loving that one. I feel like this doesn't hold as much base as I thought it would, so I'm actually going to transfer it to this category, but this is definitely making the cut. Look at that color. So beautiful. So here we have the ethereal shades. Let's swatch. We have Sparks, which is a longtime favorite. Danessa Myricks. Another Danessa Myricks. And this one is Natasha Denona. Wow, look at the, I don't know if you can see the pink reflect on the Danessa Myricks. Okay. So there's Sparks. There is Danessa Myricks. I love how that maintains its coolness. Wow. That is very beautiful. Don't know if I want to go that colorful with the sparkle. And then here, down here, I'll put the Natasha Denona. I don't think we need both of these. Definitely the top color is too, look at the shimmer on it. So beautiful. Too pinky, yellowy, flippy. I love this. I don't think I need both, so I think I'll just do the Danessa. And then I think I will add sparks in case we want to take it that little bit warmer. So for now, we have definitely captured the smoky essence of the plot. Now we're going to go on to a little bit more of like the moors, the browns, the greens. And let's bring in the browns. This purple is so beautiful. It's like a purpley brown. It's really calling to me, but I just don't think it has a space in this palette. Gorgeous though. My hands are like pure sparkle. All right, this is really what I envision when I think of the moors. It's like that murky browny green. Kind of takes the palette in an interesting direction, but I think I want to go there, so we're going to keep that. And with it, I think this is like a natural progression. Well, maybe this is also a natural progression. That's so pretty. Okay, we're going to keep those three for now. I don't know if we need to go this bronze. This looks positively copper in comparison. Oh my goodness. I think I do want to keep this one. And then I don't think we need this. Do we need the brown? The matte brown is like a very grounding color if we want to do any deepening that's not black, so I will keep that. Greens. These are two of my favorite eyeshadows of all time. They're Sydney Grace Commission in Defiance, I do believe. Yeah. I feel like anytime I make a palette, I think of these. Definitely Defiance is going to make its way in. I don't know if we want to go this blue-green with it. I kind of want to go one way or the other here. Keep Defiance. And get rid of this one. Let's think on Commission. I'm going to include this in the next draft round. We are back the following day. Let me zoom out a little. I have had so much fun every time I walk by and see the beautiful color story that is forming. Take a moment, breathe it in. Okay, so this is what we're working with. This is what we were on. We were looking at these two colors here. So option one is going into that dark teal. Yeah, dark teal, a little bit navy even. And option two is like this army green. And when I compare it to what we're working with right now, both of them kind of have a place individually. Like this makes sense to me. Sorry, let me get that out. This makes sense to me. And this takes it in a fun direction. We're seeing this. I like that one. I'm also thinking though, because let me zoom you out even further. When I bring in the reds, I honestly really like this whole aesthetic together. But then the reds with the green, like a green, is feeling a little, I guess that kind of works. But I wouldn't wear that. It's also about practicality, right? Like it's my palette, so I want it to be practical for me. Do I remove this green element? Because I don't want to remove the red. Let's get to red when we get to red. I'm getting ahead of myself. I think of these two, this is the one that's calling to me. So let's keep that for now. And then we have a more basic section. We have the neutral mattes. And of these, this color just looks wrong with my current selection. So that's gonna go. These, I don't think I need both of these. Like this is more of a slate, like a pale slate, and this is a white. I think in place of the pale slate, I'm going to go for this kind of creamy bone, and then I have these two options. Because now let's look at the reds. The reds plus the purple. You see what I mean though? If I take this out, it just becomes more cohesive. Would I use this? Yeah, I think it's just about where I place it. Okay, of the reds, this one is so calling to me. It's like a black-red flip, definitely. That is so beautiful. Don't need both of these. This goes much more red. This is more cranberry. Which one do we like? Okay, the pop of red or the more cranberry? Pop of red. I think the cranberry is making more sense to me. And then, do I want the matte red? I don't think I need the matte red because I'm thinking this would be more of like an under the eye effect. We're probably gonna have to cut even from this pile, but I had this eyeshadow put to the side. I kind of like adding it. I said we have to cut, so let's first add. And then these two were the others that I had put to the side. I think I don't need this one, but I do kind of like having this pale whitey gold. Okay, this is the second pass through. Oh, so pretty. And let me show you what we decided not to select. Also, a kind of pretty color story. Let's put them back. And we have the shadows. Okay, this is definitely still too many. These don't feel repetitive to me, even though they kind of look it. Definitely feel like they need to be in there. Let's pull out the must-haves. Kind of like having that bronze element. 11, 12. So let's pick 6 more. I kind of feel like we could get here using a mixture of these two, so I'm going to think about that one for now. This is just looking so boring compared to everything else that can be gotten rid of. Bark says to stay. Because maybe we'll have space. Okay. So I'm going to start with kind of like a smoky, well, let's start with this. This is making sense to me. Is the start. And then I kind of have the glitter. And this is not going to be too aesthetic to look at because the shapes are different, but we love that. We're going to do kind of the smoky. You know what? I think we'll maybe have space. Now, how do we transition these? Maybe with the reds. That's so cool. Maybe now. Yeah. Okay. Then we'll go into kind of like the grungy brownie greens. Oh my gosh, I love it. Wow, I love it. Do I love that though? I like that better. Okay, this is the palette. Let me get you some swatches. The point of this palette is obviously not to recreate it with exactly the same items. It's to be inspired and to remember that we can create inspiring things just using what you have. So yeah. Also, I'm just going to tell you which palettes they're from. Okay, so this is from Natasha Denona Biba. This is Natasha Denona Gold. This is from Xenon, Natasha Denona. And this is from Danessa Myricks, the Lightworks palette. So funny because that one I like to use kind of all over, but it really is a deeper shade than I typically go for all over. There's Sparks, Xenon, Danessa Myricks. Next we have Natasha Denona Biba, Natasha Denona Biba, Danessa Myricks Lightwork, Xenon. Wow, look at those four. So beautiful. Okay. I never claimed to be good at swatches, so. Next we have Natasha Denona Xenon, Natasha Denona Sunrise, Divina Cosmetics, Natasha Denona Lila. Each group of four has been so magnificent. No pre-made palette has captured my heart this way. Sydney Grace Defiance. Sydney Grace, I don't remember. Natasha Denona Metropolis. Defiance, other one, Metropolis. And let's grab this is Natasha Denona Gold as well. Look at those. Okay, let's see. I can probably fit those here. Oh, Defiance is amazing. And last but not least, we have Natasha Denona Lila and another Sydney Grace. Even those two together is so beautiful. And I'm going to put them here and here. So here is the full palette. Let me put my flashlight so you can kind of see the glisten. I am obsessed. That was my palette. Here it is again. I love it so much. And in general, I just feel like so joyful whenever I do this practice and feel that I no longer have the urge to shop that I did before. I am definitely going to have so much fun using this, and I would be thrilled to, oh my gosh, my camera is flipped, so I'm struggling to know where to look. I would be thrilled to show you what I create using this if that's of interest to you. And this is something I do fairly often, and now it's so fun to be able to share it with you guys. Be prepared to see more videos like this coming soon. And yeah, in general, if using what you already own and trying to stray away from constant shopping is of interest to you, we'd love to have you here on the channel. Feel free to subscribe and join. I feel like we've really formed a great community of people who offer advice whenever you're having a hard time with shopping. So please feel free to subscribe and let me know what you guys think of the palette.